The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 15. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Get your free audiobook by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of phenomenal women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap-Chan, and today's guest, I had to bring this girl out because she's just the bomb. If there was one word I would have to describe about this girl is she's the bomb, right? I see her on Facebook all the time. She's such an inspiration, and I knew that if she can inspire me, she can inspire you to go out there and live the life that you want. So she is an entrepreneur, and you're probably thinking, what do you mean by entrepreneur, right? Because entrepreneur can be so many things. So I'm going to actually have her tell you a little bit more about herself. Her name is Kassandra Lee, and I think she resides in New York City. Am I right, Kassandra?
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you can fill in the blanks for the listeners out there and a little bit more of what you do.
Awesome. Well, I have multiple hats that I wear. Me and my husband have an internet marketing business, so I wear the marketing hat, and I help with video marketing and all that kind of stuff. I'm also an actress, which is great. I'm the business, and then I also have a fitness business where I coach people on how to reach their best version of themselves. So
that's awesome. I know I've seen your fitness transformations, and you just look hot. Can I just say you look hot? So congrats on that. I mean, it's a different feeling when you have that kind of body transformation, right? Because when you can do that, everything else in your life starts to come to you, right? I mean, I don't know if that's how you felt when you had that body transformation. It just felt, I don't know, you just have this new feeling about yourself or this new confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost as if everything began to align itself. Everything I've ever wanted just started forming a path in front of me. It's the craziest thing.
Awesome. So can you tell the listeners a little bit about your cultural background?
All right. Well, I grew up in New Jersey, and I kind of was born into the business mindset. My father was an entrepreneur. He raised me with self-development books, fed me with John Maxwell, Robert Kiyosaki. I was just naturally, taught these things. I'm also a Christian, and I grew up in the church and all that. And I did martial arts. I was born kicking practically because I started since I was 2. And, a mixture of all of these components, it kind of aged me emotionally and spiritually more than my physical self. And so a lot of people, when they spoke to me, they were very taken back by how mature I sounded, what I spoke about. I didn't like talking about surfacey things. I loved going in depth with things. And I was just a very mature, being. As I got older, I started learning more and growing more. I remember even being at the age of 15 and, parents asking me how to raise their children. What should they do when their child does this, because of my emotional maturity. And so as I got older, it keeps going. I try not to get complacent. I want to continue to spiritually age myself so that every time I say, yeah, I'm only 23, everyone's like, oh my gosh, what? You're married and you do all of this? And I'm like, yeah, I love that shocker when I say my age. I really had a desire to please people. I hated being disliked. I really enjoyed being liked by everyone. It seemed easy to me. So I was like a chameleon. Any environment, I knew how to conform to it, which can be a positive thing and a negative thing. And I can easily get everyone in the room on my side, right? I could just get everyone's support, love, appreciation. And I loved that. As I got older, I realized that this was becoming an issue because I began to tailor who I was to fit someone else and to fit someone else's expectation. And I had a really big struggle and a clash as I got older that I had to face. And it was probably one of the toughest things I faced and overcame, but I continue to fight, today.
I know as women, I think we are known to be people pleasers. I mean, I've been raised that way. A lot of women have been raised that way. It's like, don't rock the boat, don't make any noise, just be like that good girl. You know, we have to learn how to just bring our voices out there sometimes, right? I mean, it's 2015. You know, we as women have to go out there and, you know, just show people who we are, who we really are. And sometimes people pleasing can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So
Right.
I'm really glad you brought that out. So I wanted to ask you, Kassandra, what's your favorite self-confidence quote?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I started to, when you had asked me this before, I was like, oh, let me think of one, right? And it was weird because I was like thinking about one, but deep down I was like, wait, I know I like one. What the heck is it? I couldn't think of it. So I started like Googling like self-confidence quotes, and then it hit me like that's not even my favorite quote. Like it just hit me what my quote is. And it has to do with self-confidence, but it doesn't mention, I think the cheesy way is to like make sure it's a quote that says confidence in it. But, my favorite quote was when I was in 7th grade in my classroom, my teacher had like this poster and I stared at it all day. I would stare at it all day. I would actually like zone out because it meant that much to me. Until this day, it's had an impact on me. And it's, if you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. You just need confidence to be able to stand for something. And I love that quote so much, man, because when you think about it, it's like either you're going to create your values, your worth, your self-respect, your role in this world, or the world is going to create it for you. And no matter what stands in your way, you're just going to conform to it rather than standing on what you believe in. And that's just so powerful to me.
That is so powerful. I mean, that is really powerful. Sometimes we have to realize that, sometimes maybe our journey, we might have to be on our own. And sometimes you just need a support system that can help you get there. I mean, like these podcasts, these stories, these women are sharing, right? This is a great way to help you get out of that comfort zone and do the thing that you love the most. So, Kassandra, in your own words, what is the definition of self-confidence?
In my own words, the definition of self-confidence is love, in one word. And here's what I mean by that. I actually was doing a show today with my husband, the Power Couple Show, and we were talking about respect and how to protect your respect within a relationship. We were saying how, one of the ways to protect that is to just become unoffensive. Like, just imagine that, there's nothing or no one that can do or say anything to you that can offend you. And it's easy to say, I'm going to become unoffensive. No one can offend me. But in the heat of the moment, that's very difficult. So we talked about, well, how do you become unoffensive? Well, you have to love and respect yourself. And respect cannot happen without love because it's required. And so when you love and respect yourself so much so, number one, you're able to give it out freely. And number two, you do not need anyone else, whether they give you love or respect or not. You don't need it to define who you are. You don't need it because you have more than enough. And I think of it as currency. Imagine I was broke, just, broke. I don't have much money. Therefore, I can't give much money. And so whether someone decides to give me money or not, my worth is pretty much defined whether someone pays me or not. But if I have an abundance of money, just an overflow, like I am just wealthy, I can give and it won't affect me. I can give as much as I want. It will not affect me. So when someone decides to pay me or not, it doesn't define my worth because I already know what I have. So it's the same thing with love and respect, Self-confidence is loving you. It's the true definition of love. It's just loving you. And there's no greater way to know what love is when you go to the source, which is God. God is love. So you have to learn about love from the source to be able to love yourself truly. And that's the only way you can truly be confident is through love.
It's true, right? You have to love yourself first because if you want others to love you, you got to make the change first, right? The change has to come inside of you, right? Work that inner game. So I'm really glad you actually shared that with us. That was a great explanation of just having love and respect for yourself because, as women, we just don't respect ourselves sometimes. We bring ourselves down, we put ourselves down, we self-sabotage ourselves all this time. And, I've done it, it's not that we're perfect, but, we're aware of what we've done and we're trying to do our best to correct that, show other women, show you, the listeners, how you can do it as well. So Kassandra, what was your life like before you had this discovery of self-confidence?
Man, I was living under the pretense of only be confident or have confidence when the evidence is there. basically what that means is just like if results were there, then I was easily able to be confident, right? I was confident depending on the results, depending on the atmosphere. And true confidence is confident no matter what it's faced, no matter whether someone believes you're confident or believes your worth, whether you're in adversity or not. And so, I struggled with this since I was a little kid, like going into school and like certain classes, I'd be very confident. In certain classes, I'd be the shyest kid in the room. That's why I feel like if somebody asks, my high school classmates, like, what was Kassandra Lee like? You'd probably get a different answer from every person because I was so different with every single person. And I was always, looking at the results of what I did as a measure of my confidence. So if I did good, I'm confident. If I got that high five, I'm confident. If I got that reward, I am confident. But the day that the numbers didn't show up, the day that the rewards didn't come, the day I didn't get that high five, the day I didn't get that recognition, I wasn't confident. And I realized I wasn't confident, period, because results are the facade, It's like I'm amped up by the results. When you just remove that, I'm still little and insecure. You know what I mean? And so I was struggling, man. I was struggling. I tailored my who I was to fit everyone else's expectation. Like, this is something recently I realized. This is not like something I overcame 5 years ago and I just started being really confident. No. This is something I recently realized that I needed to change, because how am I going to be my true me? How am I going to become the best version of myself if I'm constantly tailoring who I am to fit everyone else's expectation? And it's so hard to do because I'm a human being. I'm going to let everyone down regardless. It's so silly to try to fix me for someone else. It's just, I'm going to let them down. It's impossible. So why not just do life? If I'm going to live this life, do it the way I need to do it. Do it being me. You know what I'm saying?
I can totally understand. I think, as women, we always have this notion that everyone has to love us or everyone has to like us. And if there's one person who doesn't like what we do, who doesn't believe in what we stand for, it's like the end of the world, right? It's like, oh my God, this person doesn't love me or doesn't like me or doesn't like my statuses on Facebook. What did I do wrong? Like, we focus on that one negative thing when we can impact a whole world, right? And it's something that most women go through, right? I mean, it's funny because we've been so programmed to learn to be liked by everybody when it's impossible, right? It's just impossible. You're not going to please everybody, right? You might as well live the life that you want and just, inspire the world, do the things that you love to do the things that you believe in, and the people will come. So, Kassandra, you said you just recently had this realization. What was that aha moment when you realized, it's not always just your results that can make you feel confident?
My aha moment was I was in church and the pastor was preaching and he had mentioned how we're already accepted. Like, God already accepts us. Like, there's no religious tactic or routine that we need to do to be accepted by God. Like, it's already done. And I thought to myself, like, wow, like before, like he said it like this. He's like, imagine, he was saying how he's about to have a kid and this is the first time he's going to be a father. And he was saying how when he's going to be in the room with his wife when she's giving labor, he's not going to be screaming out to that baby, come on, get out here. We got to get you ready so you can start paying some bills. You got to start being a champion. Let's go. Like, he wasn't going to be doing that, yelling at the child, because he realized that the child doesn't have to do a single thing. And he already loves the child. He already accepts the child. Like, it doesn't have to do anything. And when he brought it to that perspective, like, my heart just it was relieved. Like, holy crap. I could do absolutely nothing and I'm not going to, but I could. And God already accepts me for who I am. Therefore, I'm already great. Like, I'm already great. I don't need to try and do something to feel great. Like, I already am great. I'm already accepted by the Most High. And so at that point, I realized, like, if I could just operate in that confidence, then everything I do will turn to gold because it's destined to. It's already accepted by God. You know what I mean? And I immediately was just like, holy crap. Like, I don't have to change who I am. I don't have to, try to like spin 8 plates on my hands to try to like make this world happy. I can just be who I am, be who I was called, use the gifts that are already inside of me, express them to the world, and it is destined to become great because I already am. Like, that's huge. It's a big deal.
That's a huge realization. I think not too many people realize that, when you're born, you were born to be great, right? Mm-hmm. You were born into greatness. And sometimes we forget that greatness because life gets in the way. The media gets in the way. We have all these external forces that tell us, so you're just mediocre. You're just average. Don't, go to the top of the mountain. Just be average. But you have this greatness inside you, right? That needs to be let out into the world, needs to be shown. And when you know inside yourself that you're already great, I mean, like what Kassandra said, like whatever she does, she already knows she has like the Midas touch because she's had so much confidence into herself already. She already knows she's born into greatness. God has accepted her for who she is, no matter what happens. So I really love that that part you mentioned about when you had that realization at church. What's your life like now after that realization?
Oh man, it is great. It's like everything I do has to work. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't affect my worth. Like it's the craziest thing because it's like, I have an idea. Well, it's going to work. Well, I want to do this. Well, it's going to work. And then it's like, if it doesn't work, I don't hold my expectations so high that it's like, it didn't work. It's just like, wow, I'm still great. Let's try to do something else. It's like, there's nothing, there's no one that can come against me or make me feel less than or need to be changed to. Like, I don't have to conform to anyone. It's just this liberating feeling of, I can do this. You know what I mean?
You're just invincible, and if something doesn't work, then it's just feedback for try again, keep going, keep pushing, keep trying to get the dream of your life, right? Just keep going. And, because we all have our ups and downs. We all have our, highs and lows, and we just focus more on the highs versus the lows, and we just keep going. So Kassandra, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And, I just wanted to ask you a couple more questions. To the woman who is listening to this episode, right? They're pumped. They're like, they're loving what you're saying on this episode. What would be the one tip you would give to the woman in her own journey to self-confidence?
The one tip I'd give to all of you beautiful people listening would be to ask yourself this, okay? And then I'm going to give you some action. But you know how we take some awesome selfies? I want you to ask yourself, if you were to take a mental selfie or a spiritual selfie, what would it look like? And obviously, I can't hear your answers, but answer that to yourself. And then what I want you to do is let go. Because when you try to hold on to this whole thing, there's another thing I used to do too, is just try to hold on to a perception, tailor ourselves so that people can see us a certain way. And when I decided to kind of take a mental selfie, it didn't match at all what I look like physically. And a spiritual selfie, the same thing. And so then I realized if I just let go of trying to obtain or hold, it gets so tiring. This perfect perception so that everyone can see you the way you want them to see you. You're going to miss out on the things that God's trying to throw to you anyway because your hands are full. So just let go. Because if you can let go, you can open yourself up for more opportunity to become the best version of yourself. And that's where you can start developing that confidence in you and not in what others define you as. That's my advice.
I love taking a mental selfie, doing that, letting it go. I know sometimes it's hard to let go, but when you let go of something that's not serving you, a new door opens, right? I've always had this saying that my old boss would say, when one door closes, another one opens, right? Work. When one door closes, another one opens. And I want you to have that in your head as you're doing this mental selfie, as you're letting go of these past perceptions of yourself, right? Because you want the new version of you, the better you to come into your life so you can start attracting the right things into your life. So Kassandra, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview, for sharing your story. I enjoyed every single moment of it. I mean, it was just awesome. And, it'd be great to have you back again if that's cool with you.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I think this is awesome. I'm so excited you even asked me. I'm like honored and privileged, and I hope everyone out there enjoyed it too.
I'm more honored that you're on the show, to be honest. Since, you do wear many hats, where could they contact you if they wanted, internet marketing advice, or maybe some acting skills advice, or some fitness challenge advice? Where can they reach you?
Well, follow me on Facebook. I mean, you pretty much see all of my hats being done on Facebook. Kassandra Lee, and that's with a K and 2 S's, and then Lee. And if you really want some fitness advice and mental advice to become the best version of yourself, go to become the B, V as in Victor, Y.com, the best version of you. BecomeTheBVY.com.
Ladies or listeners, if you've heard that, if you want the links, also you can head over to the Tao of Self-Confidence and search for Kassandra's name with a K. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And again, thank you for sharing your journey with us, Kassandra. It's been awesome. Be on the lookout for another new episode of another woman's amazing journey to self-confidence, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Get your free audiobook by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com.